"Oh, Mr. Young, I expect you to die." He's wagging at that. Can you believe he's actually wagging at that? This is Chris from GetMightyNow.com, and this is the Mightiest Battle 1 year on. Censor myself here. There we go. Can you believe that? A year has passed since I was diagnosed with leukemia. Well, part of that year was a Sunday the 29th of June last year, which Becky and Marie, my wife, and a few others christened as Shit Sunday, which was the day where I was probably closest to dying, as Louis or Blofeld would have said. And if you didn't get that reference, you're too young and you need to watch Doctor No. No, not Doctor No, Goldfinger. What am I talking about? Yeah, Shit Sunday. And I was having a rather direct conversation with my mother the other day, which is unusual because we normally dance around the whole religion thing. She is a born-again Christian, and I am not. I am a massive, massive, massive non-believer. And she spoke of that day, and she said that she rocked up at the hospital, which, you know, it's nice for her to come down. She lives in Scotland, so it's sort of 700-mile trip, I think. Okay, her only son was dying, but I still appreciate that she came all that way. But she came down and she saw Marie and a few of the others. Even Big Andy was in tears. My God, it must have been bad. Anyway, she saw a few people, lots of tears. There's lots of bad feeling. And one of my friends came up from Wales and said to Marie, "Is there no hope?" Which is probably not the best thing to say to someone when their husband's on his deathbed. But my mother said to me, I didn't feel the need to cry because the Lord had told me that he was going to spare you. The Lord had told me that it wasn't your time and you had more work to do. And I'm sort of thinking on the other end of the phone, well, couldn't he have sent a more sort of subtle message rather than giving me cancer and flesh-eating disease and liver toxicity and 12 operations in a week and a half and incredibly vivid and nasty hallucinations which I suffered from for 5-6 weeks. I think there could have been more targeted ways of the good Lord making his intentions clear. But my mum was convinced, and I nodded on the other end of the phone. I said, well, it could be that. Or it could be that when no one was around, everyone was having a good old cry and talking to doctors. Becky crept up to me, leant over my bed, and whispered loudly. Becky can't do anything that's not loud. She's from Chicago. Come on. But she bent over and she said, "Any fucking time now would be good. You're an attention seeker. Sort yourself out. Time to get better." So I said to my mum, with all due respect, Mum, I think Becky pulled me through more than your God did, and I know that my wife and my family and friends definitely had more of an influence on me than some make believe deity. And it's a shame. The reason this thought has taken root in me in the last couple of days is there was an article in the Huffington Post about a guy who hallucinated that he had murdered while he had necrotizing fasciitis, which is the same flesh-eating disease that I had. And I sort of read it, and what, you only killed one? I killed 10 people, goodness sake. But all joking aside, it was real. It was absolutely real. I woke up really agitated, tears flooding down me, telling Marie that she had to call the police and I had to own up for all these people I killed. I couldn't live with it. To say I was beside myself wouldn't even begin to cover it. And she settled me down, and finally I sort of realised it had been one of those visions, and I hadn't actually killed all those people. Who did this guy thank? He thanked the good Lord for getting him through. He thanked the good Lord for making the doctors and nurses strong and his wife strong as she supported him. The Lord had nothing to do with it. It was your wife. It was the doctors. It was the nurses. Give credit where it's due. Okay? So I'm thanking the staff at St George's, at Guy's Hospital, and the intensive care unit that St Thomas's was for a while. I'm thanking the staff, intensive care guys, intensive Samaritan ward at Guy's. I'm thanking my fantastic wife Marie, Becky, Andy, Fraser, Mark, Russell, all the Dark Side boys who came up. My nephew Mark, who I only see him once or twice a year, and he's a chef, which means he works 80 hours a week, and he was there straight away. As soon as he heard I was in a bad way, he was there. God wasn't there. There was no God. Okay? The worst moments, the moments when we thought it was all over, there was just a blackness. There was nothing. Nothing. So give credit where it's due, not where society deems you should. Anyway, this is the Mightiest Battle, 1 year on. And here's to another many, many more years to follow if I can get through this bone marrow transplant. Thanks for watching. This is Chris from GetMightyNow.com.